up and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is actually unplanned, but I wanted to make a video just talking about how much I spent on my surgery. This channel has been kind of all about my surgery journey, so I know that I've seen some comments asking like how much did I spend in total. So in today's video I'm gonna go over what I spent, not to like the exact dollar amount because I'm honestly too lazy to try to like go and investigate, but I have like the most important details down packed just so you can get a realistic idea of how much truly goes into surgery, because it is no joke, like for real. Okay, so for those of you that are new to my channel, hey, what's up? My name is Jessica, aka Toxic Beauty, and I recently had a full extended tummy tuck from hip to hip with muscle repair, and I did a Brazilian butt lift round 2. So I am currently about 9 weeks post-op. This is more or less what I am looking like right now. I took the faja off just because I've been filming for OnlyFans and TikToks and stuff like that, but then as soon as this video is over, I'm putting the faja back on because at this stage I still feel super comfortable with the faja. When I don't wear the faja, I notice that like my abdominal muscles start to get really like tight and they even like bulge outward. So I feel more at ease in my faja. It's just like, I don't know, the first surgery that I ever did was just liposuction and I couldn't wait to get out of the faja. This is the complete opposite. I feel super comfortable in my faja and I just don't feel that great without it yet. Okay, so I wrote some little notes down. Also in today's video, I wanted to just do my measurements really quickly. I don't even know my measurements from pre-op, but I know I filmed a video of me taking my measurements, so I'm gonna check that out and then compare it to what my measurements are now. I have no idea how much I weigh. I just have not gotten on a scale. I know I've definitely lost weight since surgery. Aside from what they did because of the surgery, I've just been eating a lot better and just my lifestyle has been somewhat different. So I do feel a lot slimmer. So I'm gonna measure myself and go over the costs of the surgery. So I did my surgery in Fort Lauderdale with Umberto Palladino, aka the Magic Surgeon, and originally the quote was for $11,000, and this is again for a BBL round 2 with a full abdominoplasty, full extended tummy tuck from hip to hip with muscle repair. So it was $11,000, but now that $11,000 also included 6 nights, 7 days in the hotel. That they have an office in that hotel, so it's super convenient to stay there because you can do your pre and post-op appointment there, which is super awesome. So that's like the surgery recovery hotel. So it was supposed to be 6 nights, 7 days, as well as 3 post-op massages, and as well as having, I think it was 10 hours with a recovery assistant. So that $11,000 covered the staying in the hotel, the post-op recovery assistant, and 3 post-op massages. So for me, $11,000 was honestly really fair because originally I got quoted almost $18,000 to do it here, upstate New York, and that was just for a tummy tuck, a mini tummy tuck, and not even a BBL. It was for like a BBL revision where they were gonna cut one side of my body, and that was gonna be $18,000 for just that. So that was insane. I'm so happy that I went with the Magic Surgeon because he made my stomach look so great. My scar is healing so wonderfully. I do have to go back for another little mini revision on my butt. I've mentioned it in many of my other videos, but aside from that, like, I'm so happy with my decision. So in the end, so the original quote was $11,000. In the end, what I actually paid to them was $11,749, but that is because I ended up requesting more days in the hotel because I felt like I needed more time to stay there before flying out. Also, I think I was supposed to be leaving on a Saturday according to their like number of days that I would be staying there. And the flights on a Saturday compared to the flights that following Tuesday were so drastically different that I'd rather spend a little bit more on the hotel and recover and just really make sure that I'm ready to travel, as opposed to leaving faster and paying a shit ton more on the flights. So I ended up spending ultimately $11,749 with the actual like surgery clinic. So that was that. But again, if I didn't do anything extra, it would have just been the 10,000. I'm sorry, the 11,000. Okay, so we're at 11,749. Then aside from that, I ended up requesting the recovery assistant to stay with me for another 5 hours. I was there with my 4-year-old daughter and my aunt was struggling trying to take care of me and the baby. So I actually requested a 5-hour extension with the recovery assistant, and that actually costed me another $340. So at that point though, I just wanted to make sure I had the best care possible. They were helping me change my drains, they were washing my fajas, they were helping me eat, helping me stay hydrated, helping me keep track of my medicine, helping me shower, bathe, all of that stuff. So for me, it was entirely worth it, and I was really, really cool with my recovery assistant. So I didn't mind spending the extra money, because at that point I was already spending so much that I'm like, what's a little bit more just to make sure I'm in the best hands possible and recovering in the best method possible. So aside from the $340 that I spent on the recovery assistant, I also rented a recliner. Now these honestly were unforeseen expenses, which is why going into surgery you need to be prepared, because you don't know what's going to happen afterwards, and you don't want to skimp out when it comes to like your health and your well-being. And I had brought an avocado float with me to sleep in, and the recovery assistant was like, oh no, like you're not going to be able to get in and out of that thing. Like you need to get a recliner. So I am so grateful that I got the recliner, because after a tummy tuck, especially when you get the muscle repair, you can't get in and out of anything by yourself. And I'm not the type to like wake people up if I have to use the bathroom. So with the recliner that I got, it fully extended all the way up. So I can literally help myself stand up by just pressing a button, and it rises all the way, and then let my feet plant on the ground, and then I would be able to like walk super slowly to the bathroom at night by myself on day 1. So the recliner to me was an absolute must-have. I've had girls writing to me since I put up my previous videos asking me like, who was the chair, like who did you rent the chair from? They can't find it, and I've been giving that number out left and right. Honestly, they should sponsor me, but this video is not sponsored. So I spent $220 on the recliner rental, and I kept it for as long as I needed. So to me, that actually was not that bad. Like if I was home, I would have just rather buy a recliner that I can just keep maybe for like $300-400. But since I was in a whole other freaking state, I didn't mind it. So $220 included the recliner for as long as I needed it, and it also included a bath chair, which was also another huge necessity. So that was $220 for both. Okay, so we're at $11,749 plus $220 plus $340. So things are adding up. Now, also part of that $11,749 fee from the clinic was for 3 post-op massages. But now since I stood there a little bit longer, I ended up getting 2 additional massages. So I think I spent like another $100 for 2 more massages. Don't quote me on that, but about another 100, maybe 150 on 2 additional massages. Completely optional, but I was building up so much fluid in my back that I did not want to miss a day of massages. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm already here. I'm already spending so much money. What's another couple hundred? Now I went to buy a faja while I was there in Miami, and that faja costed $150. I also bought like some foam boards, some ab boards. Let's just say like about $200 at the faja store in Miami. So we're at $11,749 plus $340 plus $220 plus $200 for the fajas. Okay, now I also spent money on the flights, and I think I gotta look back at the flights, but I bought tickets for everyone to fly. I want to say like round trip, it was about $330. I'm gonna say $330 for my ticket alone. But if you're spending money to help your family come with you to help you take care of like a little one, if you have that, all of that added up. So I know I spent like $1,000 in flights, but I'm gonna keep this personal to me, so I'm just gonna make it about $330. I think that is fair. On the way back, I flew in JetBlue Mint, so it was a little bit more pricey because I had more leg room, and it was like in a more like exclusive area on the plane, and it was closer to like the exits and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say $330 round trip just for me personally, but again, I spent a lot more than that. I also, prior to the surgery, had 1 week in an Airbnb so I could enjoy vacation in Fort Lauderdale. or actually in Pompano Beach. So that was like another $1,500. Again, I was spending money on all of this by myself just to support the family that I was bringing with me to help me with my baby and with the post-op care. So again, I'm not going to include that in this little list. Okay, and then when I ordered all my supplies off of Amazon, as well as a BBL canoe, which is what I was sleeping in. I have it here, but it's deflated. This is a BBL canoe. So it's a little bit deflated right now, but you get the idea. So I was sleeping in that when I got back home. And that was about 150, I want to say. I'm going to say like 120. I should have honestly done my approximate numbers, but I'm going to say about 120 for that. Plus my Amazon supplies was at least $400. So I'm going to say like another $500 on supplies. And that's me rounding down. $500 on post-op supplies, because people don't realize you're buying a lot of the things that you need post-op that the surgery clinics might not inform you of, including medicine, including post-op like creams and bruise care and massage care and gauze and peroxide and surgical scar tapes and like scar treatments and just like so many things that you're gonna need post-op, BBL pillows, so many things that you don't realize. They add up. So I'm gonna say definitely another 500. That's me being generous. Like, I think I honestly spent more than that, but let's just say 500 for the sake of this video. And then when I got back here, I ended up buying another faja, which I spent 200 on, which was honestly stupid. I shouldn't have spent that much on a faja. I should have ordered it online. It was a really, really good faja though. I do love the faja, and it had the hips like super wide, because after the surgery my hips were really, really wide, and it was hard to get any other fajas past my hips while still being like loose enough around the hips, tight enough around the waist. So I ended up spending 200 on another faja when I got here. Now that's that. Then when I got back here, I continued doing the lymphatic massages. The first place that I went to, I did 3 massages with them, and that was $100 each. So that's another 300 on massages. Then I didn't like that clinic, so I switched to another clinic. They gave me 5 massages at 300. So that's another 300. That's another $600 in just massages. Now, technically, I can stop there. But being that I had issues with my BBL, and I felt like my BBL was a little bit saggy, it was a little bit too big, honestly. Even though I know there was post-op swelling, the size was super massive to the point where I felt like it was making the issues that I have on this side even more prominent. Like, it was a huge improvement from prior to surgery, but I wanted to tighten my BBL as much as possible, reduce it a little bit, tighten up the skin, reduce any cellulite, and just make it more toned overall prior to me being able to start exercising. So for that, I started to do Venus Legacy, which was another $1,200. Now, I'm going to leave that out of my grand total because that's not really necessary to everybody's journey. My original BBL, I never did anything like that. Had I done it, it probably would have never had the issues that it had going on after month 6 from the first round. But for me, I felt like Venus Legacy was super, super critical. I'm super happy with how it's going so far. The results are still not even all the way there yet. I'm still going to probably need a revision, but I do feel like it's making my peach overall more tight and toned and just firmer looking. So $1,200 I'm going to leave out, but just so you know, I did spend another $1,200 on an optional BBL maintenance post-op care. Okay, so now I'm going to add that up. And I still feel like I'm probably missing certain things, but for the sake of this video, it's just going to give you a general idea of how much really goes into surgery. Now, yes, you can save a lot more if I would have gone like completely out of the country to Colombia or DR or whatever, Brazil, wherever, I don't know. But I personally am not comfortable going overseas. I know that the results might have been even more astonishing, but I'd rather stay in the States. That's just personal to me. I felt a lot safer. Dr. Magic Surgeon, Dr. Umberto Palladino, he's actually one of the top doctors to look for in 2021. So I'm super confident with who I went to. Now let me add it up really quickly. So we got 11,749 plus 340 plus 220 plus 200 plus 330 plus 500 plus 200 plus 300 so another 600. Okay, so I'm gonna add it again because it actually seems not bad. When I added that up, it came to $14,139, and that's not including the $1,200 I spent on Venus Legacy. So with the $1,200 on Venus Legacy, I'm at over $15,000. I'm at $15,339. So let me just add it up again to make sure I did the math correctly. Yeah, $14,139. So altogether, my surgery with all the other expenses came out to $14,139 plus the additional $1,200 that I personally spent on Venus Legacy, which brings me to $15,339. Now that is still not freaking bad because for me, like I said, I was so close to booking the surgery here for $18,000, and it wouldn't have been a full tummy tuck, it would have been a mini tummy tuck, and it wouldn't have been a Brazilian butt lift. They wouldn't have transferred more fat to my hips or to my butt. They would have just cut one side, so it would have just been one little excision plus a mini tummy tuck for $18,000, not including any post-op massages, supplies, anything. So for me, I don't know. I'm very, very happy with the decision that I made. But this was just to give you a realistic idea of how much extra goes into surgery. I originally got quoted at $11,000, but I still managed to spend over $15,000. So just be mindful of that when you're booking the surgery. There's going to be a lot of unknown expenses, a lot of things that come up throughout the journey. That is still an understatement. I'm sure it's still an understatement, but it gives you a good idea of all the stuff that came up after. I didn't expect to get a recliner. I didn't expect to extend my recovery assistant time. I didn't expect to extend my hotel stay. I did all of that the weekend of me being in the surgery hotel, realizing like what I was about to get myself into and just wanting to cover all my bases, you know what I mean? So I hope that this video was helpful. Really quickly before I wrap up, I am going to measure myself, and I will try to put somewhere on the screen a before and after comparison. I don't even remember what my measurements are. I don't know if I wrote it down. I hope I wrote it down. Otherwise, hopefully it's clear in the video. So my waist is definitely much, much smaller. So if I look, so that's what my belly button is looking like. Right now it's coming up at 34, where my belly button is. I feel like I was over 38 before. And then like mid hip range, I'm at 48 and a quarter. I don't know what I was before. But remember, they added more to my hips and obviously more to my butt. So it's actually at 50 when I readjusted it. That's pretty much it because I didn't do anything to my boobs. But yeah, so 30, what did I say? 34. Yeah, 34 and 48. So that's a wrap for this video. This is how I'm looking. These pants are from Fashion Nova, and they honestly make the peach look wonderful. I love it. These are how the results are looking. I'm just getting more and more in love with the body as time passes. So you really have to be patient with surgery because your body's going to be constantly changing. Within the first 6 months, the first 3 months post-op, your butt is going to be super swollen, your hips are going to be swollen, your stomach is going to be swollen. So you won't really know your true final results until about 3 months post-op. I am not even there yet, but I am very, very happy with what I see. There's days where I do get really swollen. There's days where I'm not really happy with how I feel. So surgery is definitely a roller coaster of emotions. Some days you like your body, some days you don't. It's important to just be happy from within. But yeah, that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And yeah, bye.